These artists were being encouraged to work in what was considered the American scene, which came out of sort of the Midwest. Think of people like Grant Wood, American Gothic, Thomas Hart Benton. And what's nice, so the artists were obviously working in various styles, but the Treasury Department really wanted them to work in this kind of style. Alexander Costello, who completed this commission for Somerset, was able to sort of mimic that style fairly well here. And I think this very much looks like a Thomas Hart Benton piece. What's interesting about it is this was for Somerset. It's depicting a kind of highly stylized view of Somerset itself. You can see the county courthouse on the hill. So that's pretty accurate. And he's showing, I think he called this, what was this, farm? He called it farm scene, but it's a fall harvesting scene here. And what's interesting about this piece, unbeknownst to us, of course, it was the most controversial of the entire collection in Pennsylvania. You'll never guess why unless you know small-town politics. The story behind this is that shortly after it was installed in the Somerset Post Office, a rumor circulated among Republican businessmen in Somerset that the plowing farmer over here on the left-hand side was based on the likeness of J. Buell Snyder, who was a Democratic congressman from Somerset. What's interesting is the Republicans weren't going to let this go. They write to the Postmaster General, to the Treasury Department, and they threaten to boycott the post office if this painting stays on the wall. And according to Dave Lembeck, who did the research into the Somerset Times, I believe, that was publishing the stories, this sort of occupied the front page headlines for a good month during the summer of 1941, when you think the people of Somerset probably would have had other things to worry about. And the only way this ended up getting tamped down is that the artist wrote to the Treasury Department and pleading with them to send him a letter forbidding him to use the likeness of any living statesman in a painting. And they did. He was able to show it around town, and the Republicans eventually let it go. But it sort of, to me, kind of, again, summarizes this project. And that, it was a noble goal that FDR had to bring art to the people at a time when Americans were beginning to recognize art and artists were beginning to recognize America. But it wasn't always a simple process of democratizing art.